Hello, what is up, guys? I'm Tyler, he's Tristen, and we are doing a spoiler alert video for Spongebob Fish Out of Water. It's so bad. Okay, the spoiler alert, it's bad. So, as I said, this is a spoiler-filled video. If you want to see my spoiler-free video, click on the link up there. You have been warned, many spoilers, starting with, it's bad. Okay, so...
I don't think that's a spoiler.
So, spoilers start now. The entire story, which I will spoil. This guy named Burger Beard, he's a pirate, steals a magic book from a skeleton that isn't alive, but then comes to life and, attacks it.
If you ever played Skyrim, you'll know what it's like.
And then, Hadouken. So,
Hadouken!
Yes, the skeleton basically Hadoukens the pirate.
He, goes...
He
does, a Super Saiyan, punch. And, why? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, the skeleton goes... and... Burger Beard, with the book that he wanted to steal, flies onto his pirate ship. So basically, the skeleton helped Burger Beard escape from the skeleton. Rather than maybe punching him the other way and sending him to the middle of the earth, because apparently the skeleton can do that.
Yeah, because apparently the skeleton is
the skeleton with strength. Literally no muscle has a lot of muscle. So the book is about the apocalypse in Bikini Bottom. I kid you not.
Let's keep in mind that every time he's narrating, it's actually going on.
Yes.
In Bikini Bottom at that exact point.
This is your classic piece of crap Disney Channel where it happens while he reads it. In other words, have you ever seen the movie The Never-Ending Story? The only good example of reading the book while it happens. It's like that, but bad. He's reading about how SpongeBob magically makes Krabby Patties out of thin air. Doesn't even cook them or anything. They just kind of appear.
Yeah, because apparently he doesn't have
SpongeBob can teleport too, because he goes, there was a lad named SpongeBob, and then he literally pops onto screen.
Yeah, they literally teleport.
The Krabby Patty formula literally just turns into non-existence. Eat that card.
Wait, what about the Krabby Patty?
It just SpongeBob and Plankton are doing this because apparently Plankton is strong enough to
because apparently
play tug of war with somebody of 100 times his size.
Yeah,
I knew SpongeBob was wimpy, but come on.
That's like a mouse trying to wrestle something out of.
That's like Tom and Jerry playing tug of war.
No, not even. This is like This is like a mouse trying to get something from an elephant.
Yeah. So
that doesn't work.
No. But then, while they're playing a tug of war, neither of them win because it just disappears in front of them.
Because remember, that book is magical.
Yeah, Burger Beard wrote in the book that he stole that it disappears, so he got the formula that way. Burger Beard has the formula. So then, Mr. Krabs tells Squidward that there's going to be riots in the streets. And then literally, like the same way SpongeBob popped on the screen, they were all wearing leather and Squidward had a mohawk.
And places were damaged.
There was fire everywhere, even though they're underwater. Yes. So then, SpongeBob and Plankton escape in a bubble.
Yeah, because bubbles are
TM
strong.
Work. TM work.
TM work.
Yeah, and then they make a time machine out of sausages and a photo booth, which was for some reason
in a soda can.
Which, for some reason, this photo booth was in a Swiss taco joint because it was called Taco House, house spelled H-A-U-S, so it was Swiss. With Swiss sausage and everything.
Drugs.
Yeah, drugs. So, they make you feel like you're high because of all this psychedelic Bob Marley crap, Jamaican music going on when they time travel. The first place they go cracks me up. The first place they go, there's sandy hills everywhere. It's all desolate. There's literally no buildings or civilization anywhere around them. And they look at Patrick sitting on a hill. Patrick,
he has
what happened?
White hair.
Oh yeah, he has
and
a long white
beard
and white hair.
And SpongeBob's like, Patrick, what happened?
And he's like,
Everyone gave up on you. Except
Well, I
for me,
didn't because I'm
'cause
not,
very smart.
That's literally what he says. And he goes, "You're back. The Messiah has returned." And then he
He
goes,
literally says
SpongeBob
that.
goes, "What happened to the Krusty Krab? It's where it's always been." And the hill he's standing on gets blown away by wind, and he's sitting on the sign that says Krusty Krab. And then
SpongeBob's like, no!
And then Plankton goes, "According to my calculations, we've only gone in the future 4 days." This is over a burger, mind you.
A
burger.
A burger.
Sandy cracked me up because Sandy got a page from the book that says the end on it because, you know, literally for no reason. It just says the end on it.
No, remember
He wrote it, but he wrote it for no reason.
Yeah, and it wasn't meant to
she
change
turns
the
into
plot.
this mad. She's dressed in raggedy clothes. She looks like a squirrel with rabies, basically. And she's like, "The sandwich god, you must sacrifice to the sandwich
gods.
She says that they must commit sacrifice to the sandwich gods.
Tell me,
I'm done.
Tell me how this so far sounds like a PG movie.
Then we meet Illuminati dolphin because they travel in time again and they end up in space. And there's this dolphin named Bubbles who talks and has an Illuminati symbol.
And
on his
he
neck.
floats in the air. He literally does not have any feet.
Yeah, he's literally floating.
He's literally the body of a dolphin.
He tells
and
SpongeBob
floats.
and Plankton to watch the universe as he goes to the bathroom. And while they're watching, Jupiter and Saturn crash into each other for no reason. And then they fall out of the rings from Saturn fall out of the sky, even though there is no sky nor gravity to fall out of.
Exactly.
By the way, this movie defies physics like 110
And
times.
by the way, I didn't notice this, and I don't think he would have noticed this if I didn't mention it. But when we looked,
yeah, he's got an Illuminati symbol on his
when
neck.
we looked at the dolphin on the neck, holding like his cape or whatever,
is
is a medallion that
triangle
is the triangle
eye.
and eye. So I'm led to believe that one of these like supreme leaders is a talking, floating, laser beam shooting dolphin.
Speaking of the lasers, he comes back. Oh yeah, so SpongeBob picks up the metal floor and sweeps Jupiter and Saturn under it like it's a rug. Then, when Bubbles comes back and sees it, he shoots lasers out of his blowhole at them. So then they choose to go back to back in time to when the formula disappeared into nothingness, and then grab the wrong formula that Plankton put there and give it to Mr. Krabs. So they decide to sacrifice SpongeBob and Plankton, and that's when Patrick comes back with the photo booth that he never took. He just appears in the photo booth. Time travel
and he goes, "I brought a message from the dawn of time.
Run!" And then you see the Squidward dinosaur come out. They go, "It's a Squidwardsaurus Rex."
And mind you,
and then it doesn't
Squidward
eat
said that.
Oh, and then it doesn't eat them or anything. It just stands there like a good little doggy.
It just destroys stuff, basically.
Oh, it destroys the building, but they're fine.
Yeah. Anyway, then after that, they get to the sacrifice part.
So they put him on a on a stone burger.
And the top part of it that crushes is a bun with pickles under it, mind you. Stone pickles.
And then it crushes him, but he says he smells Krabby Patties. So while it's falling, Mr. Krabs gets under it, and they both get crushed. But because it's a cartoon, Mr. Krabs just goes, and
he
like
goes,
he is literally flattened.
Yeah, and then he goes, "The boy is right. I smell Krabby Patties.
So they fall
Let's
to
go."
the
And then he
surface.
tears off the leather and his
they tear off the leather and they're
his
wearing their normal
clothes that he wore like in, I guess, movie time 10 minutes ago. Was like there, and Squidward goes, "Wait a minute, we could have just taken this off the entire time." That tells you Squidward is as good as a movie critic as anyone.
Yeah. But then the entire Bikini Bottom goes to the surface, and they say, "They're up there. We can't do that." All secondary characters come on.
Even secondary characters are better at movies than the producers.
Then Bubbles comes back with toilet paper stuck to his tail and says he was fired from the Illuminati. Well, he was fired by whoever hired him, but you know that.
But
we know that
we're gonna automatically assume.
Well, we know he works for the Illuminati, so then he eats them, and then they're on the surface.
And mind you, he travels through like dimensions and stuff. Through a triangle.
Yeah, through a floating triangle in space.
Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed. But So they're on the surface now, and they go up to this the ship from the pirate, which is now on wheels. It's like a monster truck. It's a food truck, and he has the Krabby Patty.
Yeah, and this is a very predictable movie.
Yeah,
like,
yes. Like everything that happened in this movie, we called like 20 minutes before.
I even called the fact that the pirate had the secret formula, mind you.
Yeah, like so. Then he literally pulls out the book he stole, writes, "They're stranded on an island," and then they're on an island, but it's not an island. It's a floating rock in the water, and I mean floating because there's this rock coming up like this, and then the top goes. If that makes sense. And so it defies physics, as I said. And then these flying pelicans, you know, SpongeBob does this superpower Hadouken jump, takes a feather from one, writes on the page Sandy got earlier at the end that they have superpowers. So they get to pick their superpowers.
But we never see them actually pick it because that's not even there.
But they do pick it.
Yeah,
they pick really stupid superpowers.
And you can kind of guess what their superpowers are.
And so the rest of the movie is the trailer, but, you know, for the sakes of this, we'll go through it. They go back to the food truck, and then we find out that the pirate is a ninja and can dodge any attack.
He literally
dodges machine gun fire he literally dodges machine gun fire at point blank range. It's actually Sandy it was Sandy shooting out peanuts, but it was at but it was machine gun rate. It was like a machine gun. Yeah, she was going.
And he goes.
Yeah, and he's sitting there with a spatula, like a Jedi.
Exactly.
Burger Beard's a Jedi.
Jedi Master Burger Beard.
And then the epic rap battles of history people are sitting there watching this.
They literally have 3 seconds of it.
Oh yeah, there's also a bunch of girls with really big tits. There's a lot of sexuality in this SpongeBob movie. Like, doom. Squidward basically has sex on screen. One of them is tanning like this, and he's like slipping on the olive oil she's tanning with. She goes, Frank. And Tristen and I looked at each other in the theater like, did I'm leaving the theater. No,
I know.
I'm done.
It literally sounded like porn. It was like, oh, free baby,
harder.
I was just like, not on SpongeBob.
Then they start driving through the city. Good thing that there's no cars or anything around, and nobody gets hurt during this.
Literally, this must be like
balls.
a Monday. Because there's like no one, there's hardly anyone on the streets.
I mean, I just have to rip a leaf off a tree because of this movie. So, he gets a machine gun that fires cannonballs, and SpongeBob literally puts them all inside bubbles. But then the bubbles pop for literally no reason, and then they all, you know, get just destroyed.
Yeah.
But they're not hurt or anything.
It only hits, like, Patrick, but Patrick's an idiot.
That was funny. He's just lying down, and one goes above him. He goes, pretty. Then the bubble pops, and for some reason all the others pop too.
Yeah, simultaneously.
Then Plankton who is taller than the buildings, is shorter than the monster truck somehow, because you see his head peer over the monster truck.
His head and then he goes, still tiny, but the rest of his body is literally the Incredible Hulk with shoes and underwear.
What's weird though is the truck that they're fighting on, the buildings. Plankton's head just peers over the truck, but then when you see his muscles,
actually made a reference to Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.